and on the street, and he's down. Remember, his shoes could fit your feet. Try a little tenderness and you will see. We can change things if we start giving. So why don't you reach out and touch somebody's hand? Make this world a better place if you can. Reach out and touch somebody's hand and make this world a better place if you can.
This is a new day. This is a new day full of sound and light and expectation. This day has been waiting for you. It's been waiting especially for you, to embrace you, to guide you. This day has been waiting with open arms, just for you. This is the day we have been given. Let's not waste it. Come now, and let us worship together. And please rise in body or spirit for our first hymn. 361, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In.
Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your ears to the song. Open your ears to the song. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your hearts, everyone. Enter, rejoice, and come in.
Don't be afraid of some change. Don't be afraid of some change. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in.
Well, good morning, everyone. How are you all doing today? Good? I see some thumbs up. It's good. It's nice we get the snow, but it's also warmer, right? Yeah.
Hopefully spring comes very soon.
Yeah, we've had a good winter, haven't we? I keep saying a proper winter. Yeah, spring is coming. I know it's coming. And we're going to celebrate it here, actually, with the spring equinox service, I believe. So keep your ears open for that. We have a number of really cool and deep events actually happening. They're in the back of your order of service. The one that's happening today is really deep and really meaningful and very lively, funny enough, given the title. It's called Death Cafe. But it is actually very lively. It's a place to really explore what it means to die and what it means to have to deal with loss. and how we all go through that very, very differently. Melissa Smith is one of the co-facilitators of that group. It's going to be today at 12:30 p.m. in Schweitzer Lounge. We have people of different ages, different backgrounds, different experiences. And it's very, very good, and it's usually very surprising. But I always learn something new when I've attended these, so you can join that. Again, that's going to be 12:30 p.m., and it's on Zoom as well as in Schweitzer Lounge. There will be a newcomer circle happening next Sunday, so if you are here for I would say a dozen times or less, you're a newcomer. And it's really an opportunity back and forth for us to get to know you and for you to get to know us a little bit better. So Karen Lapidus is going to be hosting that next Sunday at 12:15 p.m. It's going to be on Zoom as well, but it's going to be in Schweitzer Lounge next Sunday. And again, it's an opportunity to get to know each other. You know, what brought you here? What interests you? What's moving you right now? What's concerning you right now, both in our community and in your life? And we want to get to know you so you can see how you might plug into us and a little bit about our history, how we got here, how we approach some of these big questions. It's really good, so please join Karen Lapidus for that. And then also next Sunday at 12:30 p.m. is an LGBTQ plus meeting. So that's open to everyone as well, and it's going to be in the UUYO boardroom and Zoom next Sunday, so join us for that. I now am very excited to welcome Sheridan Sullivan for our chalice lighting.
I have seen two broad truths in the ramshackle and scattered way I have approached learning about human history, so bright and clear that they have often startled me back into darkness. That all which truly deserves the name of human progress has always clung by the vanguard of courageous, selfless love to the vanishing horizon of a better world. And that sacrifice is noble, but it is not selective. It can call upon anyone at any time. I don't know, I doubt whether anyone can in advance, how much loss, deprivation, and suffering I can withstand, but I do know there are so many in the world having an infinite, indiscriminate amount of those things forced upon them, and that the engines built for them are not, in fact, there by accident or necessity. They were deliberately built for anyone who runs afoul of the powerful and the unaccountable. I have only just begun to stop hiding from this vision of reality, whether in or out of the bottle. I realized I could die there just the same as anywhere, but that to live, I had only to reach out a hand, in body or in spirit, and to accept that it's better to live for a day than to die for 36 years. So I light this chalice today in simple gratitude and admiration of the light. Maybe.
That's what I'm talking about. Reach down a hand. Let's all greet each other and say hello. What was that? It is.
Good morning. My name's Brittany. I'm filling in for Kathleen today for the Time for All Ages. Today we are doing a Unitarian Universalist minute. So this one is not a minute. Kathleen estimates about 3 minutes. We'll see how fast I talk. We'll call it the chaplain who wouldn't wait. What is a UU minute, you may ask? Well, I'm going to tell you about someone who helped push our Unitarian Universalist faith toward what we say we value: courage, justice, and a love big enough to be real. And I'm going to save his name until the end. Don't shout it out if you know. Here's your first clue. He was born in Scranton in 1893, not Ohio as some sources claim, and he was the son of a man who had once been enslaved. As a young adult, he became a minister in the African Methodist Episcopal Church, ordained at just 22 years old. Now, here's where the story takes a turn. He served as a U.S. Army chaplain in both World Wars. And in the Second World War, he found himself with a Black Engineers Battalion in Bastogne in the brutal winter fighting at the Battle of the Bulge. And get this, he volunteered for the Army in World War II at age 50. Can you imagine joining the Army at 50 years old? In that moment, sitting in the middle of a war, he wrestled with faith. He came to believe something very Unitarian and very humanist, that human beings, not an all-powerful God, have to do the work of solving human problems, including the work of justice and equality. After the war, he didn't just go back to normal. He enrolled at Meadville Lombard Theological School and earned his doctorate in 1949, becoming one of the first African-American ministers in the Unitarian Church. Then, because white Unitarian congregations often wouldn't call a Black minister, he didn't wait for permission. He built what was needed. In Chicago, he and his wife helped found an interracial congregation that became All Souls Free Religious Fellowship, which is still active today. He led liberal ministers in Chicago, worked at the intersection of race and humanism through the American Humanist Association, served congregations in Springfield and Los Angeles, and participated in the civil rights movement. Here's your final clue. He was also the father of a famed Tuskegee Airman, Charles. So does anyone have any guesses who our UU ancestor is today? Nope, no one? Okay. The Reverend Lewis Allen McGee. May we remember him as someone who didn't just preach justice, he organized, served, and made room when there was no room. And may we be the people who continue to build that room. Happy Black History Month. So now I'm going to step down and meet all of the kids on the floor below the stage, and then we'll recite our covenant. You'll find our covenant in the order of service.
plate during our worship service to attend an expression of community abundance and thanks for the blessing of this abundance, and to support the community in a tangible way. This month, our plate goes to the Urban Labyrinth Project. The Urban Labyrinth Project in Youngstown, Ohio, founded and led by Dr. Kelly Kirksky of Creative Wellness Solutions, has established a meditative walking labyrinth within a newly developed green space at Market Street and West Indianola Avenue. Opened in October 2025, this park includes the labyrinth, a pollinator habitat, and additional amenities, creating an accessible, tranquil, and restorative environment for the local community. We will now receive the offering that supports the life of this church, the Mahoning Valley, and our wider world.
So for our offertory this morning, you can help me out on this. There's a little chorus to this, and here's the words. So listen carefully, these are tough. La da da, da 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 da. That's the first one. Second one is la da 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 dee. Talking about you and me and the games people play. Oh, the games people play now, every night and every day now, never meaning what they say now, never saying what they mean. So they while away the hours in their ivory towers until they're covered up with flowers in the back of a black limousine. Here we go. La da 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 da. La da 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 dee. Talking about you and me and the games people play. Ooh, we make one another cry, break a heart and we say goodbye, cross our hearts and we hope to die that the other was to blame, but neither one will ever give in. So we gaze at an 8x10, just thinking about the things that might have been, and it's a dirty, rotten shame. La da 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 da, la da 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 dee. Talking about you and me and the games people play. Now walking up to you, people sing glory, hallelujah, and then they try to sock it to you in the name of the Lord. They're gonna teach you how to meditate, read your horoscope and change your fate, and furthermore, to hell with hate. Come on, get on aboard. Everybody sing. La da 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 da, la da 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 dee. Said we're talking about you and me and the games people play. One more time. La da 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 da, la da 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 dee. Say we're talking about you and me and the games people play. Good job.
Hold on a second. We'll do meditation first. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right. I get excited too. So many of you, I don't know, I know a number of you are friends on Facebook with Jim Rogers, but in case you haven't heard, his daughter Christy was in a house fire in Birmingham, Alabama. She has severe burns right now, and she's on a ventilator in Alabama. So members of our congregation and our wider community are there to support Jim and his daughter Christy and that family, but let's hold them for a moment of meditation.
For a long time, we held the water back with our fear. Not fear of what was happening, but fear of what might. The job lost, the door knocked on at night, the quiet punishment for speaking aloud. We told ourselves restraint was wisdom. We called silence being careful. So we built a dam out of maybe, out of don't rock the boat, out of now is not the right time. But the river did not stop. It pressed against the concrete with names and faces and laws passed in the daylight, with harm done out loud. It carried the weight of children watching elders shaking their heads, histories we swore we would not repeat. The cracks did not come from rage. They came from seeing what is happening to bodies, to ballots, to truth itself, seeing how quickly cruelty learns to speak in official voices, seeing how fear, once useful, became a cage. A crack forms when denial can no longer hold. Another, when we realize the cost of silence is no longer theoretical. Water begins to seep through, not destruction yet, but truth, memory, moral clarity. Some shout, hold the line, but others listen for the sound, that low, unmistakable groan of a structure built to protect us while protecting harm. We are not reckless. We are awake. The dam is not failing because we stopped caring. It is failing because we care too much. We care too much to pretend any longer. And when the water finally moves, it will not be the chaos, it will not be long-held grief, righteous demand. The courage we delayed out of fear of consequences that have already arrived. The cracks are not the danger. They are the beginning of telling the truth out loud.
Speaking of telling the truth out loud, Bruce Springsteen has a new song out called The Streets of Minneapolis. The boss would be happy for that. This is one of those songs that Joseph and I, when talking about this service today, kind of both agree that needs to be sung. And sometimes a song is so in tune with its time that it just has to be sung. Through the winter's cold and ice, down Nicollet Avenue, a city of flame fought fire and ice, knees and occupiers' boots. King Trump's private army from the DHS, guns belted to their coats, came to Minneapolis to enforce the law, or so their story goes. against smoke and rubber bullets. In the dawn's early light, citizens stood for justice, their voices ringing through the night. And there were bloody footprints where mercy should have stood, and 2 dead left to die on snow-filled streets, Alex Pretty and Renee Good. Oh, Minneapolis, I hear your voice singing through the bloody mist. We'll take our stand for this land and the stranger in our midst. Here at home, they killed and roamed in the winter of 26. We'll remember the names of those who died on the streets of Minneapolis. Trump's federal thugs beat upon his face and his chest. Then we heard the gunshots, and Alex Pretty lay in the snow dead. Their claim was self-defense, sir. Just don't believe your eyes. It's our blood and bones and these whistles and phones against Miller and Nome's dirty lies. Oh, Minneapolis, I hear your voice crying through a bloody mist. We'll remember the names of those who died on the streets of Minneapolis. Now they say they're here to uphold the law, but they trample on our rights. If your skin is black or brown, my friend, you can be questioned or deported on sight. In our chance of ice out now, our city heart and soul persists. Through the broken glass and the bloody tears on the streets of Minneapolis. Oh, Minneapolis, I hear your voice singing through the bloody mist. Here in our home they killed and roamed in the winter of 26. We'll take our stand for this land and the stranger in our midst. We'll remember the names of those who died on the streets of Minneapolis. We'll remember the names of those who died on the streets of Minneapolis.
There are moments when the dam breaks. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen in my life. I've seen it happen in different individuals. I've seen it happen in a country. True watershed moments when the pressure reaches a point where it's time to live into something new. Marlon Brando, at the height of his fame, told a story where he would walk alone on the streets of New York City. And he recalled not noticing a single face, a single building, as he walked by. He was so occupied by his own thoughts that he missed the world around him, the faces of people, smiling, neutral, upset, the people traveling with him through his life. It can be a watershed moment when someone reaches out, and in so doing interrupts an entire perception of the world. What has happened in Minneapolis is one of those watershed moments. It's a time like this when we get to get more than a glimpse of a whole new way of treating each other. We get more than a glimpse into a world that was always there, waiting for us to discover. I enjoyed our chalice lighting almost every week, Sheridan. It was beautiful. And I appreciated last Sunday there was a quote from Arundhati Roy. Another world that is not only possible, she's on her way. On a quiet day, I can hear her breathing. I would add, on a raucous and passionate, committed day, I can hear her voice, the voice of the people, breathing, sighing, and hoping. I see elders, many of whom have told me at this point they have little to lose and so much to gain. The possibility of laying groundwork for a new world to breathe. I've been thinking a lot about breathing, about how we are given oxygen by our environment, the right combination reaching out to us, filling our lungs, and giving us moment after moment what we call our life. And how we too, without seeking or trying to, breathe out, reaching out into our environment, completing the cycle. It's perfect. I feel like most of my life is catching up to what is already happening all around me. Most of my life is waking up to all the ways the world is trying to reach out to me, and the ways I too am trying to reach out. I've gotten better at texting. I'm old enough now that I got into the habit of using texting as a shorthand for greater communication that would happen later. I would send a text saying I was running late, confirmation that I received something. I've only recently begun to appreciate how important texting is in our culture right now. I'm very much a face-to-face person, but I'm being shown by the world there are lots of ways to reach out. Being curious about how someone can receive that reaching out and appreciate it has been on my mind and heart lately. We have a care team who is there to offer care, offer presence and support as each of us tries to navigate our life. It's a tangible reminder that we're not alone in our struggles. That's how I started getting involved in a church community, actually. I was in my mid-20s, and most of the people I was visiting with had experienced things which I had never experienced before. I learned that not having the exact experience of someone actually could be helpful, not a detriment. It was helpful to be in touch with the different ways of approaching the world, different kinds of inner resources, different ways of experiencing what felt supportive. I'm still learning, and I've changed too. When I was younger, I didn't want to hear any kind of advice. Now I seek it. I know I could discard what feels unhelpful, but sometimes there are good gems. Someone might have a way of reaching out to me, which is lovely and unexpected. All the great poetry of the world, just about every reading we ever read in this sanctuary, is some version of the world calling out to us, trying to reach out to us. Sometimes that call comes from Minneapolis. Sometimes it's from another part of the world. Almost always it's a call within our own heart, in our own home, in our own city. A church like this just encourages us to be better listeners, to find a way to be open to shouts, celebration, and silence. It helps us to hear the call of lament and possibility, the push for something new to breathe and have life. And at the heart of it, to make us less afraid, to be open to that, to actually seek it out, to want it, to reach out to it. When the dam breaks, it takes on a life of its own. New life floods us, fills us with tears, feeling, joy, gratitude. It floods us, but not just in an overwhelming way when we feel we don't have any sense of control. In a way that shows us that our usual ways of control are not as necessary. The dam can soften. It can be let go. And in its place is not overwhelm or confusion, but clarity. We feel there are new options. There are different ways to show up in the world. Every religious tradition calls this something particular, but it's true across religions and people with no religion. Each of us will experience the dam breaking and get a sense of a new way that's possible. It doesn't have to be dramatic, but it can. Sometimes it can be subtle. My father passed away on Valentine's Day, so yesterday was the anniversary. It's been over 20 years now. Sometimes I ask myself what it means to reach out to him so I can feel a sense of connection. And it's really a connection to myself, who I am, who I'm becoming. I think all true reaching out is like that. It goes both ways. Of course, it's not lost on me that he passed away on a day that celebrates love. And of course, my intention is to celebrate love each day the best I can in a community like this. This year, my reaching out to him was writing a poem. I wrote a couple mundane memories, driving in a car and playing baseball in the summertime. It warmed me on a cold February day. I'm more aware that using words is one of the ways I reach out to another. It's the hope that a bridge of understanding is possible, even in our misunderstanding, It's a hope that in all things there is a light, and the right words said at the right time can be a version of that light. I always learn something new when I reach out. I usually get shown something I didn't know I was looking for. It's a short poem, and I'll show you how I try to reach out, if it gives you some ideas. It's called Where Are We Going? Where are we going? He really didn't talk much, but he drove, tapping his middle and pointer finger on the steering wheel, with an attitude that seemed to say he was driving nowhere and everywhere at once. Once we played baseball together, and he stuck his tongue out as if sensing which direction the wind was blowing. I didn't know it then, but I knew it later. It was an act of focus. Though squinting, he knew deep down where he wanted that ball to go. And in this game, he was often a success, as he rounded the bases smiling, laughing a little, as if he was happy to go nowhere and everywhere at once. Writing like that has been a good practice for me. There are many others too. I've become more interested in how other people process the world. Some seem to reach inside themselves to discover how they feel. And some reach out to discover how they feel. And of course, it's both. I'm just endlessly fascinated by how people perceive and how we can learn how to better reach out to one another with all these different personalities and all these different perceptions and ways of being. I think having the desire is a good step. The desire to want to feel closer to another. The desire to be able to receive when someone reaches out to us. I've gotten a little more savvy about it. I've learned not all the time, but in general, we often offer what we hope to receive. I notice my instinct is to give to another what I most treasure. And I pay attention now to what someone offers me, because there's often a bridge there, something they enjoy. It can be a book recommendation, or a recipe, or just time to sit and talk with coffee. There are endless ways to reach out to one another. It's good to live in a world that feels less lonely. And each of us, I know, has a role in creating that world. Right now in Minneapolis and across this country, there are questions about what it means to be a community, especially as it revolves around immigration. What it means to be a community. What it means to reach out to one another. And I'm learning to become less discriminate in who I reach out to. I believe each of us in this country right now has a role to play. Each of us has a role to play in creating the community we want. And it begins with reaching out to one another. Due to the cold, my car battery died this last week. And I went to go get it replaced. And a young man named Jason helped replace the battery. And I noticed he had these really great black leather boots on. And I said, Jason, those are great leather boots. And he said, don't you know it? I need these boots because I'm training to become an electrician. And these boots protect me. And then we talked about what it meant to be an electrician, which I knew nothing about. And we didn't talk for long. It was only a few minutes. It was cold outside, and I wanted to keep him company as he was replacing the battery. Not long. But it was just a simple connection. And it doesn't take much. It really doesn't. Just being curious about the world that is trying to reach out to us. You notice the picture on the cover of your order of service? Of course, you may recognize it. It's from the Sistine Chapel. It's the moment where God and humankind touch, thus giving humankind everything: intellect, art, beauty, virtue, everything. And I guess what I want to say as I close is we literally have the world at our fingertips. Not just on our cell phones, but yes, on our cell phones too. We have the whole world at our fingertips. And every single day, that beautiful world is trying to reach us. If we only just dare to reach out to it. Please pray with me. Spirit of love, Spirit of gratitude and joy, thank you for the gift of Bruce Springsteen, still rocking in the USA. Thank you for everybody here present in this sanctuary and everyone online. We hope that everyone is staying warm this morning and into the afternoon. Thank you for the gift of Sheridan Sullivan, beautiful words and reflection and heart. Thank you for Melissa Smith, who will lead us shortly in a death cafe. And I brought coconut cream pie for everyone to have a little sweet with their death conversation. Thank you for everybody who brings who they are into this space. And with that brings magic into the world. All this we pray in gratitude. Amen. And please rise in body or spirit for our closing hymn. 402, 402.
This is a short hymn, so we'll sing it 3 times together, all right? From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live.
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the war of community, or the fire of commitment. These we hold in our hearts until we are together again.
This is it. This is reaching out to one another, isn't it? As you depart, please remember the one great fact. You are loved and never truly alone.
From you I receive